Hi guys. Okay, I've been on a bit of a movie-going blitz recently, so I've got another review for you. And this is my review of American Hustle. It's a movie I've been hearing a lot about. It's been making a lot of critics' lists for best of the year. It's been getting a lot of hype. So I went to see this the other day, and so here's what I thought of it. First of all, I have to say that the best thing about this movie, hands down, no question about it, was Christian Bale, who's the star of the movie. I thought he was just absolutely incredible in this movie. Loved him. I've always been a fan of his, but I thought he just was great in this movie. I really, really enjoyed him. It's got a huge cast, a really stellar cast. Amy Adams is in it. Bradley Cooper, Jeremy Renner. Who else? I know there's at least one other major star in there, I think. Anyway, Christian Bale plays this guy who is, character's name is Irving Rosenfeld, and he plays this, the movie is set in the 70s also, so you got like lots of 70s clothing, 70s, 70s vibe going on in this movie, 70s settings. It's set in New York City. Anyway, he plays this guy named Irving Rosenfeld, who is like a con artist. He's got a few like different businesses, but his main business is he's basically a fraudster. He takes a $5,000 fee from people and promising them that he's going to loan them money, and then ends up just pocketing their cash and not giving them any money. Anyway, so he meets Amy Adams, who I really, really, really enjoyed the relationship between these two, because it was like a love at first sight kind of thing. Like, he sets eyes on her and he's just like, whoa, he's smitten instantly, and they fall in love, and they have this very, very sexy, passionate relationship. Oh, and also I should add that Christian Bale, I think he put on like 40 pounds for this role, and he's got like a pot belly, like a real one, not a fake one, because you can see it. He's getting dressed in one of the scenes, so it's like his real body. And also he plays a guy who's like balding, and he's always like, combing over his hair, and he's got the bad toupee and everything. But you know what? It really did not take away from his sex appeal whatsoever. I mean, I thought he was extremely hot, extremely sexy. I just really, really enjoyed his character. And I guess because he played like this really kind of confident, smart, con man. So I guess that added to his appeal, for me anyway. But anyway, so him and Amy Adams get into this really, passionate affair, and she kind of joins him in his business and becomes his partner in crime. And he's married to Jennifer Lawrence. She was also really good. She plays this kind of like, kind of trashy, woman that he probably met in some strip club somewhere. She had a little boy. He married her, and he adopted her son as his own, and really treats him as his own. He really loves him, and he's really devoted to him. So even though he's like passionately in love with Amy Adams, he won't leave the marriage because he doesn't want to abandon the boy, because, the mother, Jennifer Lawrence's character, is not exactly the most stable or responsible person. So he feels like he's got to be there to take care of the kid. Okay, so anyway, so him and Amy Adams are in this like con artist business together, and then into the mix comes Bradley Cooper, and he plays like an FBI agent, and comes in posing as a customer, and then, in the course of their, discussion, whips out his badge and says, okay, you guys, I caught you. If you don't cooperate with me and help me arrest, like, at least 4 other people, you're going to jail, blah, blah, blah. So basically they have no choice but to cooperate with this guy, and he wants to go after all these politicians, white-collar criminals, and this is where Jeremy Renner comes in, because he plays the mayor of Camden, New Jersey, and he was also really good. He had this, like, real kind of pompadour hairdo, like kind of Frankie Avalon type looking guy. But he was like, it's like, the plot for me was extremely convoluted and hard to follow. There were so many characters, so much stuff going on. The movie was way too long. I found it boring in parts. You know, the acting in this movie was really, really good. No complaints about the acting, but it's just the story. There was just so much going on in this movie. I just couldn't really get into it. I thought it was extremely overhyped, overblown, overpraised. Yeah, it was just, all over the place. And, Bradley Cooper, this is the first movie I've ever seen him in, and both him and Jennifer Lawrence were in Silver Linings Playbook, which was also directed by the same guy, David O. Russell, who did this movie. Did not see that, so I don't know how he was in that. I know a lot of people said that was a really great film. But Bradley Cooper, I cannot get into the guy. I really don't like him. I definitely did not like him in this movie. I don't know whether it's because of him or because of the character he played. His character was this, like I said, the FBI guy who was really just, ambitious, egocentric, always freaking out, always flying off the handle, always, he wants the glory, he wants to get the big bus, he wants to be like the big guy, and just his character was really just an asshole, a real jerk, and I just got so sick of hearing tirade after tirade from this guy. Another thing I want to mention is that Robert De Niro has a cameo in this movie, and, it was really nice to see Robert De Niro in this movie, because he was awesome. He played, this gangster who, and the scene he's in, they're in, this back room, they're having this backroom deal, and, it was old school Robert De Niro, which is how I really love him, because in the past few years, I don't know how long, maybe decade or so, Robert De Niro, for me, has really gone downhill. I've hardly seen any Robert De Niro films, because he's doing a lot of comedy now, and I really don't want to see De Niro doing comedy. I really don't. I like him in his Scorsese mode, when he's playing the gangster, when he's playing the bad guy. That's how I like him. And he really played that role to the hilt in this movie, this cameo that he did. It was old school De Niro. It was a joy to see. But yeah, that's another thing I wanted to say. Major thing about this movie. It was it struck me as a total Scorsese wannabe movie. Because, Martin Scorsese, he's got that signature style where, if you've seen movies like Goodfellas and Casino, you'll see the characters, they'll be walking through a restaurant or walking down the street or walking in a parking lot or whatever. And there's narration going on by one of the characters. And that's how this whole movie was, from start to finish. There were countless scenes like that. And plus the use of the soundtrack. The movie had a great soundtrack, because there was a lot of 70s stuff in it. And that's also very Scorsese, because he always uses music to great effect in his movies. Always the rock songs, the Stones, and, everything, right? Great soundtrack. So that also struck me as kind of a Scorsese ripoff type thing. So, yeah, overall, this movie, it was I've got no complaints about the acting in this movie, but just the story, it was too busy, too much going on, too frenetic, too complicated, there was all these scams going on, all these characters, all these details. It was impossible for me to follow. And like I said, I just found it kind of boring after a while. But I really, really enjoyed Christian Bale. I thought he was fucking awesome. And say what you want about him. I know he's got a reputation of being a really difficult guy. He's got the kind of diva thing going on. We know all about his temper tantrums, right? But you gotta give it to him. He's a great actor. He's so talented. Always liked him. And I really, really think he did an amazing job in this movie. He was great. Amy Adams was also really good. I've been used to seeing her in kind of the girl next door type roles, but in this movie she plays a real kind of a sex pot, sex kitten type. She looked so beautiful and so gorgeous in this movie. She was just stunning. And Jennifer Lawrence as Christian Bale's wife, she was also really good, really funny. A lot of funny scenes between those two having fights and all this stuff. It was, that part of it was good, but overall, I really think this movie was, really, really overhyped. I wouldn't recommend it for the story. If you like any of the actors in it, I would recommend it, because they were definitely, they did a good job in their roles. It's just the story just did not really grab me. It kind of left me cold. So I guess that's really all I wanted to say about American Hustle. It's up to you if you want to go see it. I personally think that this movie is getting more praise than it's due, but maybe that's just me. You know, you might think differently. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this. I will see you later. Bye-bye.